What's up, everybody? You're welcome into my channel, and it's been a while. It's been a while. I was very occupied those days with exams, so that's the reason why I wasn't around. And I've just finished with my exams, I think 2 days ago. 2 days ago, and now I do have the liberty to plunge, to dive myself into other books and other knowledge that I want to get. Because I really believe that in this life, it's not only about school. Sorry to tell that, but it's not only about school. You have to get other knowledges in order to become a more complete man. So I've started already to dive myself into other knowledges. And one of the ways that I use to is to go on YouTube and try to seek for some videos in where I can learn some different stuffs. And one of the things that I like to do too is to look at some videos when it comes to basketball, because I really want to like improve my level in basketball. Not only, but it's like basketball is not the priority for me because knowledge comes first. But I'm a black and I have to preserve that legacy that is in me. So I have the genetics. I think I can use it in a certain way, and but the priority is the knowledge. Priority is the knowledge. So yesterday I was going on through YouTube and I saw one video. So what I'm going to be talking today is not me that did those research, but it's another person, and it's a teacher. He is a professor from Stanford University, and he was teaching behavioral biology. So I don't really know what's all about behavioral biology, but I believe that it really tries to understand the mechanisms that are coming in behaviors, certain behaviors that humans have, or maybe some animals. Because I studied biology when I was in high school, and in 1 year in university, I know what biology is about. But now I'm a little bit limited when it comes to behaviors and try to explain the way they are. So he was talking about one behavior that is very common in humans, and that is sex. He was talking about sex. And he came with different perspectives in order to explain what it is. So people do have a sexual relationship in order to transmit their genes, or in order to make a copy of who they are through the genes. This is the first argument he was using in order to explain why do people have sex. But he was taking this as a distal explanation of the reason why humans have sex. And I'm sure that every person, each and every one, we've asked ourselves sometimes, why do humans are so do have the tendency to like everything that is related to sex? When you go, for example, in the advertisement world, you will see that there are a lot of pictures and they're using it to advertise a product. But instead of advertising only the product, they will try to put something that is very sexy inside. They will introduce something sexy inside just to, I don't know, to push you to look at it. And then he came with a story. We know we all have that. Me, myself, I have that. I have that. I don't know why our brain is made in such a way that when we see things that are related to sex or things that are sexy, our brain just is like it completely shuts down. Daniel Kahneman, he talked about two systems in our brains. We have the system 1, that is a very rapid system, and we have the system 2. The systems, actually, they are like, I would say, some processing units, those two systems. The first system, it will just take the information as it is and it will just make conclusions. But the second system, it will take the informations that it sees and it will try to mature it, try to take the deep meanings of it, try to think over it, over the system two. Like when we talk about system two, and I was not really understanding why humans, when it comes to sexual related things, they tend to act according to the system one. That's rapid. We don't think, we are just inside the action. So he came with one story. I think this story was really beautiful. He said that Martians, like the peoples that live in Mars, they came on Earth and they saw people that were living on Earth, and then they wanted to have a communication with them in order to know, okay, how do you guys reproduce? And then the Martian says, okay, we are going to show you how we reproduce. And then they started doing some crazy things, and then the baby started coming out from their mouth or something. And then the humans were there, they were saying, oh wow, that's beautiful, that's beautiful, we've never seen that. And then the Martians, the people that are living on Mars, I wanted to say March. The people that are living on Mars, the Martians, then they came and they said, okay, okay, show now, you have to show us the way you guys are doing it. And then the humans were there and they started doing the activities, and then the Martians were there, they were observing and they were saying, okay, and where is the baby? And then the humans, they came and they say, oh, for the baby you have to wait for 9 months because it has to nurture for before it has to nurture first, and after that, those 9 months it will come out. And then the person was there, the Martians, the Martians was there, they were there and they were observing, and then they said, but why do you guys were rushing at the end? It was very interesting the way he was saying it. I might not like tell the story the way he was telling it, but it was a very interesting story. So after that, he said, why do men rush at the end? Rush at the end. And he came with a lot of arguments, and one of the arguments that I will be citing at the end is the most important one. The first argument he was saying is that they want to transmit their genes to the generation. They want to keep themselves alive through the people that will be coming out of them. And then we have the last one that I believe is the truest form of the reason why humans rush at the end is pleasure, because it's pleasurable. And then they went and they were talking, and after that he was teaching them according to those facts, and then he was explaining why we have this system of pleasure inside of us. And he talked about one hormone, and that hormone is dopamine. He said that whenever somebody sees something that is sexy, something that is related to sex, it will just trigger his limbic system, and all the dopaminergic regions of the brain, they will just start to produce dopamine. And dopamine is a hormone of pleasure. It will just produce pleasure inside of you, just produce pleasure. And it's the same concept that comes with motivation and reward. Motivation, reward. And he was talking about the experiences that people did with rats or with monkeys. And for the rats, for example, they will take a button, and if the rat pushes through the button a certain amount of time, like 10 times, he will be getting a reward. But now they tried to measure the level of dopamine that were existing. And in the first experience that I was just talking about, they measured the level of dopamine. It will have been like maybe let me say just 15. And then they said, okay, now we know that the dopamine will be produced when there is a reward. And they try to figure out what is the highest level of dopamine that we can get as humans or maybe as rats, because I believe that all the experiences that they are doing on rats, they have the they suppose that those mechanisms that apply to the rats will apply also with the human. And then they started another experiment, and that experiment was a beautiful one. It was a beautiful one. And in that experiment, they took the rats, and for that one, they would take the reward rate and give it at 50% of the time. It's like if the rat was pushing the button 10 times in order to get a reward, the rat will now have to push it maybe 20 times or maybe 30 times more in order to get the reward. But for that one, it will be unpredictable. And when it becomes unpredictable, then we insert in the word maybe. And when the word maybe comes in, the level of dopamine just goes crazy. It goes like 100. It goes like 100, and you get the highest level of dopamine that you can get. And he was even comparing it at like as somebody was taking a level of cocaine, like somebody was taking cocaine. And I was really thinking about that. Okay, if I introduce maybe in the process of, okay, I'm working, I'll be getting a reward after a certain amount of time, the dopamine just goes crazy. So when you put uncertainty inside the things that you think they are certain, your level of performance, your level of productivity, it just goes crazy. It just goes crazy. And I believe it might be a truth. It might be a truth. It might be a truth. So that was one of the things that I was learning yesterday. And I really believe it has a lot of applications. Like for me, I've seen a lot of people, religious people, not only Muslims but also Christians, when they start in something and then they will be putting God in that thing, they are always putting a maybe inside that thing that they do. They put a maybe. Okay, maybe I will succeed, but I put God in. It's like your level of certainty, your level, the things that you can control, you put a maybe inside, and then at the end, you will start seeing that the level of productivity that you got is just so crazy. I've seen that with a lot of people, a lot of like Muhammad Ali. When you see Muhammad Ali, he had something. Like this guy, he was believing in God. He was believing in God, and whenever he was going for a fight or what, he would just saying, "Okay, I'm going," and he will be putting everything in the name of Allah, and then he will be doing it. Me personally, I know one of my like somebody that I could really consider as a mentor, and he is a Nigerian businessman. When you see his life wasn't with jam, with bread, or with chocolate, or with banana. His life was hard, but he had the maybe inside his life, and then he just made his productivity grow crazy. He's one of the billionaires now in Nigeria. He's one of the billionaires now. I was seeing another podcast of Joe Rogan, please. He was talking about one man, one fighter, and he was saying that that fighter, he had one battle that he had to win against one other guy, and then at the presentation, they always do those presentations where they are the two fighters and they are looking at each other, and after that, they will be doing an interview, and the person will be talking to the other person, and he was saying, Allahu Akbar, or I will win, because of my God. Like this guy, he took the maybe and he has put it inside, and it makes his productivity go crazy. It goes crazy. And I really believe that this is something that if we apply in our lives, it will make us go to a certain level. It makes us go to a certain level. I look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he is the richest man now. He didn't know what he was going to do. Like, he didn't know. He was just having those dreams in him, and he went, and I believe he has put it in some maybe concepts or maybe theories and all. And I believe that's the reason why he's so successful today. So that was what I was learning yesterday. I really hope that this video will help somebody, and I see you guys on the next one. Take care and goodbye.